Hi everyone, today we are learning to solve simple multiplication problems by using the vertical multiplication strategy. So this is going to be a new strategy for most of you. The grade 4s, you will have been exposed to it last year in grade 3. Now, this is a strategy that we've used for a long time, and if you spoke to your parents, this would be the strategy that most of them would have learnt at school as well. It's usually called vertical multiplication or long multiplication. So it's really important that you guys are using your maths books and setting your equations out really carefully in your grids with one number in each box. We're going to go through quite a few examples together, and then you're going to have a go at completing some questions on your own. So we're going to start with problems that are 2-digit by 1-digit. Now, you've been seeing equations that have been written out horizontally like this, 25 multiplied by 2. So just like vertical addition and vertical subtraction, we need to make sure that we're setting out our problem correctly, which is with the numbers on top of each other. Okay, so if we were setting out 25 multiplied by 2, we always have the larger number on top, so the 25, and then our smaller number goes on the bottom. We need to make sure that we're lining up, just like with our vertical addition and subtraction, our 1s with our 1s and our 10s with our 10s and so on. So our 2 wouldn't go here because that would be saying that this represents 2 10s, which is 20, because our 10s would be lined up. So you need to make sure that the 2 is in line with our 1s column here. Okay, so it's really, really important that you're setting it out correctly. This is the correct way. We would not write this equation out like this or like this. These both ways will lead you to getting the incorrect answer. Okay, so we've got 25 multiplied by 2. We read the equation from the bottom up. Okay, and we always start with the first number to the right hand side, so we always start with that 1's number. So you say 2 groups of 5, so 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. So if you have a look here, if we were to put 10 down, it goes into our 10's column. So what we need to make sure that we're doing is just like we've learnt with our addition and subtraction and in place value, we're going to have to use the skill of renaming. So 2 multiplied by 5 is 10, which is the same as saying 0 1s and 1 10. So we put the 0 down and we must carry the 1. Now, it's really important that you do a big one, not just a little one, so you don't forget. Now, it's really important to be thinking carefully because we don't want to get confused with addition and subtraction. We are not going to add these numbers just yet. So we've got renamed it to 0 1s and 1 10. We then move on to the next number, 2 multiplied by 2. So 2 groups of 2 we know is 4. We then have to add our 1 10 that we carried up here. So 4 add 1 is 5. So our answer of 2 groups of 25 is 50. And I always just cross this out to know that I definitely added it to my answer. Let's do another one. So we're just going to start with a few simple ones that are 2-digit by 1-digit, and then we'll increase them. So 73 multiplied by 5. So making sure our numbers are all lined up vertically and it's really set out clearly. So reading from bottom up, 5 groups of 3. So I'm going to skip count 5, 10, 15. Remember, we can't write the whole 15 down. We need to rename it. So 15 1s is the same as saying 5 1s. So I put that down and I carry my 1 10. I then multiply 5 groups of 7. So I'm going to use my skip counting again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And we need to add the 1, which is 36. So 5 groups of 73 is 365. And this is called our product when we're multiplying. As you can see, doing long multiplication or vertical multiplication is combining the skills of our basic facts of up to 10 multiplied by 10 and our place value knowledge, because it's really important that we can understand and see, well, 15 ones, when we have 15 ones, it is also equal to 1 10 and 5 ones, because that will help us rename correctly, because then we can put our 5 ones down and carry our 1 10. Now, when you're doing your problems in your workbook, there are a range of problems that you can do. If you're not feeling very confident, I would suggest that you stick to problems that have multiples of 5. So you're multiplying by 5 or 2. Okay, so they're going to be, because we can confidently skip count by 5 and 2, so they're going to be some easier facts for you to solve. So do 82 multiplied by 3 this time. Set it out correctly. First step, start from our right, our ones column. 3 groups of 2 is 6, 3 and 6. So this time we don't need to rename or carry. Then 3 groups of 8. So I'm going to skip count by my 8s, 8, 16, 24. So because we don't have any more columns to move on with and our equation ends, we can write the whole of 24 down. So 3 groups of 82 is 246. Let's try a 3-digit problem now. We're still going to be only solving by 1-digit numbers though. So 137 multiplied by 5. So our 5, because it's in the ones column, is still lined up with our 5 from our top number, okay? So really important that our larger number goes on top and our smaller number is on the bottom. So begin 5 groups of 7. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Now 35 ones is the same as saying 5 ones and 3 tens. So we need to rename. So we put our 5 ones down and we carry our 3 tens. We then move to the next column. So we multiply 5 by 3. So 5 groups of 3 is 15. Then we must add our 3 tens that we carried. So 15 add 3 is 18. So I'm going to cross this out because I know I've added it and I haven't forgotten it, so I can keep track. Now 18, we need to rename it and put the 8 down. So it's the same as saying 18 tens, which is we rename to 8 tens and 100. So we need to carry our 1. Then we multiply by our hundreds number. 5 groups of 1 is 5, and we need to add our 1, which is 6. So we put our 6 down, and our product of 5 groups of 137 is 685. So it's really important that you're just working by step, okay? So this is really one of the best methods to solve larger multiplication problems. 274 multiplied by 4. Start with our multiplying by our ones number. So 4 groups of 4. So I'm going to use my skip counting knowledge. 4, 8, 12, 16. As we start to learn our multiplication facts more, we're going to get quicker at this and we won't have to use skip counting. We're just going to know them automatically. So 16 is the same as saying 6 ones. So we put our 6 ones down and we carry our 1 10. Then we move to our tens column. 4 groups of 7. So 7, 14, 21, 28. We then must remember to add the 1 that we carried. So 28 plus 1 is 29. So I'm going to cross that out because I've added it. So 29, we can't put 29 down here because then we'd be moving into our hundreds column. So we must rename it. So 29 tens, we rename to 9 tens and 2 hundreds. So we carry that 2 hundreds. Then we go 4 groups of 2, which is 8, add 2. 8 plus 2 is 9, 10. Now, because we have nothing to go on and our equation's finished, we can write the entire 10 down. So our question, 4 groups of 274 equals 1096, which is called our product. We're going to do one more together. This time we're going to try a 4-digit equation. Now, there are many options of problems that you can solve during your work time. You are going to aim to complete 10 equations. So if you start to complete some of the 2-digit problems and you're feeling like you're getting the hang of it and you feel really confident, then you can pick some from the 3-digit column and so on. Okay, so you can do a mix of problems, but just try and aim to get 10 done in the time. Remember, if you're unsure at any point, that you can come back and watch this video, or you can access the how-to chart on Microsoft Teams, where it's an anchor chart for you. So our question says 5,689. I'm going to check I've written all the numbers individually in one box. My larger number is on top, and all my columns are lined up. So my ones number is lined up with each other. So remember, read bottom up. So 6 groups of 9. Now this is a little bit of a trickier one, so we can either count by our 9s or 6. For me, when I see a 9 times table, I always think of, well, what's 10 times 6? Well, I know that's 60, and because it's 9 times 6, I just have to subtract one group of 6. So I think 60 subtract one group of 6 is 54. So 6 groups of 9 is 54. I can't write 54 down. I need to rename it. So I'm going to rename 54 ones to 4 ones and 5 and 5 tens. And then I'm going to move on to my tens column. So as you can see here, 6 groups of 8. So I'm going to skip count again as well. So I'm going to do my 6 times tables because I feel more confident with those. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. So I need to do 48 add 5, which is 53. So I put the 3 down, so I rename it to 3 tens and 5 hundreds. Remember to cross this out, especially as you start to solve larger problems. It's really important to make sure you're keeping track that you have added the number that you've carried. So you just cross it out so you know you've done that and you haven't missed a step. Next one, 6 groups of 6 is 36. And we add 5. So 36 add 5 is 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So I'm cross that out. 41, we need to rename it. So 41 hundreds is the same as saying 104,000. So we carry that 4,000s to our thousands column. Last one, we need to multiply our 6 by our thousands number. So 6 groups of 5. So this is where we can use our 5 times tables, and I know that is 30. I need to remember to add my carried number of 4. So 30 add 4 is 34. Because we don't have any 10,000s number, we write it all down. Oops. So our product of 6 groups of 5,689 equals 34,134.